In a previous episode, I showed you how to plaster a wall, and today I'm going to apply fiberglass wallpaper, also called glass weave wallpaper, to the wall we plastered. My wall is fully dry after a couple of days and I've sanded it completely smooth. Now you can apply the primer. Make sure you buy a primer that says, "Primer for absorbent surfaces," then you're good. I apply the primer with a flat brush, or you can use a block brush. I often get the question whether you can also do this with a roller. You definitely can, but keep in mind that it splatters a lot more, which means more cleaning afterwards. If you accidentally leave primer on your window frames, you'll notice your paint won't adhere properly later. Priming your wall is really a step you shouldn't skip, whether you're going to apply wallpaper or paint the wall directly. Once the primer is dry, I'll start applying the wallpaper. Have you ever applied fiberglass wallpaper? Let me know in the comments. Before I start with the smooth non-woven wallpaper, I mark all the screw holes that need to stay open. This way I can find them easily once the wallpaper is on. I place my first strip using a level line. If your window frame is level enough, you can start your first strip right there. The second strip is placed tightly against the first one, not overlapping. Smooth non-woven wallpaper doesn't shrink, and placing it edge to edge gives a seamless result. First place it along the line while holding the rest of the strip slightly away from the wall. Once it's perfectly aligned, you can smooth it out with the spatula. Today I'm zooming in a bit more on the corners so you can get those nice and clean as well. And I also have a golden tip for professionals, so make sure you keep watching. After applying your strip, you can lightly sand the seams if needed. Then clean the wallpaper to remove any glue residue. Once the wallpaper is on, reopen the screw holes right away. After that you can seal the seams. I used an acrylic sealant for this. The wallpaper is applied straight through the corner. I cut it as much as possible along the edge. This corner still has a slanted edge, as you can see here. I do the same thing here at the top of the corner, like this, and I cut along it. This leaves you with a few millimeters of wallpaper wrapping through the corner. Later you can apply the wallpaper from the other side right against it, and the corner will be nicely finished. I'm not going to cut this edge, I'm going to sand it so it becomes tighter and cleaner. Here we see a wall. On the right side you can see the fiberglass wallpaper, and on the left side it's still the bare wall. You might say I could just paint the whole wall. But why would I apply the fiber? Because it removes all the small holes and dents. Look, I'll zoom in really close. I'm marking a tiny dot with a pencil just so you can see how far I'm zoomed in. All those tiny imperfections in the wall disappear as soon as you apply fiberglass. On this part you can't see anything anymore. I'll put a dot here as well. You can see how smooth the fiber is. Compare that to a wall you might want to plaster fully just to get rid of tiny holes. That's why applying fiber is so useful. Even if your walls seem pretty smooth, this method makes them even sharper. I often get asked about the difference between fiberglass wallpaper or glass weave wallpaper and smooth non-woven wallpaper. Generally, I look at what hardware stores call it. Fiberglass or glass weave wallpaper usually has a pattern, like a small grid or another texture. Smooth non-woven wallpaper is usually completely smooth. With non-woven wallpaper, it can also mean regular wallpaper that's mostly made from non-woven material. These are often called smart paper. You apply glue to the wall and then hang the wallpaper. I have several videos about that too. Both fiberglass wallpaper and smooth non-woven wallpaper are applied the same way. So if you watch my videos on fiberglass wallpaper, you can use them perfectly for smooth non-woven wallpaper, because the steps are almost identical. Once the smooth non-woven wallpaper is applied, I paint the walls with the first coat of latex. When that first coat is dry, I prefer to sand it very lightly to remove the first dust particles. Then I clean the wall to remove all remaining dust. After that you can paint the second coat to finish it. I first applied the curve on the right side, then the middle section, and finally a strip in the rounded part. I finished the corners by sanding them clean instead of cutting them, like I showed earlier. Here's a little tip if you're doing this for a client. Make sure your client isn't in the same room while you're working. If the wallpaper accidentally tears because you're not very experienced yet, your client might see it. You'll fix it seamlessly of course, but your client doesn't know that this is completely normal. They'll start focusing on that area even though normally they would never notice it. So always tell your client beforehand that you need to be alone in the room so you can concentrate. Most clients will happily agree because they want a beautiful result. If your walls still aren't smooth enough, it's important to plaster them first. Click the video in the middle of the screen to learn step by step how to get a perfectly smooth wall. Make sure to subscribe to my channel and give the video a like if you found it helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.